Very exciting times for Spring Valley and for the Republic of the Philippines.
Watch the smoke rings rise in the air, and I know you'll find your share of memories there. So dream when the day is through, and they might come true, and things never are as bad.
Accenture. Let there be change.
My name is Jonathan De Luzuriaga, and this is my business diary. Let me tell you about Spring Valley. Spring Valley is Asia's version of Silicon Valley. The Philippines is going to play a vital role in the digital transformation of the entire world. And Spring Valley is going to be a venue where innovators and technologists could congregate in order to create technology for good. We found our partner with Globe Business. And a vision as big as Spring Valley would need to have partners that are both reliable and compatible. Reliable in terms of providing the connections that would enable our business to succeed, and compatibility with our core value, which is one, love for this country, and second, a deep appreciation of technology and innovation. These are very exciting times for Spring Valley and for the Republic of the Philippines. We are now at the precipice of realizing the first Filipino-owned technology company that will have its own township. And we intend to help all the founders in the Philippines by empowering them and by providing them a venue where they could be the best version of themselves. And I intend to continue this journey together with Globe Business. Philippines, it's time for us to lead.
I introduced the world to digital storage to magnetic tapes, marking the transition to electronic computers.
I built the computers and software for the Apollo missions, landing Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin on the moon.
I invented the UPC barcode, transforming the way retailers track and store inventory.
And I invented the magnetic strip you see on most credit cards, revolutionizing the way you travel while keeping your information secure.
I designed the IBM Cloud so our clients have the most functional and efficient system to run their business.
我实施的生态系统让他们可以顺利地启用数位工作流程。
I use artificial intelligence to provide solutions that streamline how those businesses automate their practices.
I'm researching a new battery design that is free of heavy metals and could transform the long-term sustainability of our energy infrastructure.
Estoy trabajando para alcanzar cero emisiones netas de efecto invernadero para el 2030.
I'm building the future of quantum computing to provide solutions to complex problems that not even supercomputers can solve.
I am IBM. What will I do next?
ICTSI operates 34 container ports across 20 countries. So we're one of the world's largest container terminal operators. IoT, or Internet of Things, is a term that has, I would say, more recently been applied to some of the technologies that we've been deploying for many years. And the other thing that's very important to us is that we constantly drive efficiency and optimization in the cargo flows. And to do that, we also need to push that optimization beyond the boundaries of the fence of the container terminal. And to do that, and to really drive this journey forward, we wanted to deploy a unified backbone of communication across the port, and hence our partnership with PLDT around 5G technology. We see many opportunities with 5G to provide rich communication, not just to the multitude of technologies that we're deploying inside the port, but to reach out to our customers and partners across the supply chain.
$8 billion of us share our planet, and it is estimated that more than 1 billion adults smoke. While the risks of smoking are well known, most smokers still don't do what's best: quit tobacco and nicotine altogether. And many of those don't know that better alternatives to continued smoking exist, or have access to them. So many smokers who would otherwise continue smoking wouldn't know or think to change. Our message is simple: if you don't smoke, don't start. If you smoke, quit. If you don't quit, change. We believe everyone deserves better. We believe adult smokers deserve access to better alternatives and all the resources they need to make an informed decision. Action from smokers and those who love them can change things. So stand up, be heard, and add your voice to the calls for a better future. Unsmoke your world.
Welcome, delegates, to our first 2-hour workshop. I'm Miguel. I'm going to be your host for this breakout session. Thank you, everyone, for joining. I can see that Sir Clark's session today is quite popular. We have around more than 100 plus delegates here watching now. Thank you all for joining with us. Okay, before I introduce our speaker, let me quickly acknowledge the support of our sponsors. Our Platinum partners, Accenture, Converge ICT, Globe Business, IBM, PLDT Enterprise, PMFTC, delivering a smoke-free future, and our silver partners, Eastern Communication, JobStreet, MDI Novare, Poplar, Ripe, Skybiz, and StratPoint. SOFTCON 2021 is organized by the Philippine Software Industry Association. Let's give our partners and organizer a virtual round of applause. Now, before we start, I would like to remind everyone to please post your questions on the chat box in the session page, where you're watching right now. We will read selected questions during the Q&A. Also, feel free to send live emojis if you hear something you like. One of the hottest trends in blockchain technology are NFTs, or non-fungible tokens. You may have heard of these super expensive digital art collectibles. Do you know what the most expensive NFT is? It's the digital art called Everydays, the first 5,000 days. You know how much it's sold for? The digital art piece is sold for $69.3 million, and that's a lot. Our session is all about blockchain, NFTs, and Django. Our speaker will also show how to make an NFT that's integrated with the Django web framework. Are you excited? Here's our next speaker.
Discussing the topic on blockchain non-fungible tokens and Django is our next speaker. A young entrepreneur with a passion for challenging the status quo. Please give a round of applause to the co-founder and CEO of Atmos Cloud Solutions, Mr. Clark Plumo.
Hey everyone, good afternoon. So, thank you, Miguel, for that wonderful introduction. So, as the video said, I'm the co-founder and CEO of Atmos Cloud Solutions, and I've been doing blockchain since 2018, and I've been doing Django since maybe 10 years ago. So, this is a very exciting topic, and I'm excited to talk about this because this is very close to my heart. Okay, so here are my slides. Okay, I'm going to be talking about non-fungible tokens and Django. But before we get right into it, I'd like to introduce myself. So some of you may know me as On-Chain Clarky from Twitter. The reason why is because I really love NFTs. I really love the On-Chain Monkey business, and I love blockchain. So much so that I join hackathons that are related to blockchain, and I win them too. So way back in 2018, my team and I joined the Hyperledger and HASX hackathon, and we won. Our entry was the Educational Records Verification System, and right after that, we also joined the Computational Law and Blockchain Global Hackathon, wherein our entry was Automated Dispute Resolution System. And I'm also an NFT and crypto investor since 2017. And right now, in this year, I'm one of the developers of On-Chain Monkey. And as you might as you might have heard, I'm also the co-founder and CEO of Atmos Cloud Solutions. So shout out to every Atmos Cloud people here. Atmosphere, hello. Okay. So what's next? That's me. I'm Clark. Um, I love K-dramas. I love Netflix. One of my three of my favorites there are Itaewon Class, Startup, and Hometown Cha Cha Cha. So many people tell me that my dimples resemble Kim Son Ho. Well, personally, I don't see the resemblance. I think I'm a lot cuter than Kim Son Ho. I'm just kidding, you guys. All right. So, okay, with that out of the way, let's get right into it. So, non-fungible tokens. Um, so we'll be discussing about blockchain. Before I talk about non-fungible tokens, we're going to be talking about blockchain first. What are fungible tokens? What are non-fungible tokens? And then I'm going to be showing you an example of non-fungible tokens in the form of Tietra. And there's going to be giveaways. So I'm going to teach you how to play, and I'm going to ask the audience who wants to play. We're going to be doing some Django coding. It's going to be live. We'll be creating the models of Tietra and also the admin interface. Next is we're going to be also again giving away some Tietra cards, and I'm going to be teaching you some secret techniques on how to win in the Tietra game. And then we're going to be doing some blockchain coding in Remix IDE and with the Solidity programming language. Right after that, we'll be having the Q&A session. And right after that, there's going to be a big reveal with a video that's going to be shown. Okay, so jumping onto blockchain. So who here knows what blockchain is? Could you leave some chats about what you think blockchains are? No answers. Come on, guys, to the moon. Network where you can run smart contracts. Axie, okay. Distributed ledger technology. Okay, those are perfect descriptions of blockchain. Oh, blockchain is like a spreadsheet of all transactions. So that's a good description. For me, what how I describe blockchain is it's it's three things. It's a giant ledger. So um, there's gonna be a list of transactions. One example of a transaction would be Bruce transfers 1 Bitcoin to Clark. Diana transfers 0.12 Bitcoin to the Hulk. Peter transfers 0.56 Bitcoin to Aunt May. So that's what the ledger would look like. And for the second description, it's immutable. So think of it like a git commit history. Um, if an intern commits a porn link in your git commit message, a git commit history, then it's gonna be there forever. Well, of course, in the git commits, you can do the you can do a git push force so that you'll be able to remove whatever's in GitHub, but it'll be a hassle, and so much so with blockchain. Why? Because it's distributed. So what do we mean? What do I mean by distributed? It's a network of miners that own a blockchain, a copy of the blockchain. Okay, so um, it's going to be difficult for you to hack into a blockchain network because if you manage to change the history of one blockchain and all of the others are still unchanged, then you're going to be kicked out of the network. They're going to say, hey, you're the odd man out, and they're going to kick you out. So here's what it looks like. We have a distributed immutable giant ledger. So we have a list of transactions, no updating, no deleting, um, and they're distributed. They have a consensus mechanism. And of course, if you manage to hack one or two with just a network of three, then it's possible for you to hack the whole network. Because two versus one, if you manage to hack two nodes versus one node that's the original one, you'll still be able to hack all of it because it's, well, two is greater than one basically. And the solution for that is to make it widely distributed, make it all around the world, make it in the have a node in the US, have a node in the Philippines, have a node in Malaysia or somewhere. And those are what's called the Bitcoin miners or the Ethereum miners. What their role is to solve some problems, finding the nonce. I'm not going to discuss that in full detail here, but basically they have a copy of the blockchain and they compute whatever the next transactions are, and they're going to be checking up with the other nodes in the network. And if one one or two have been hacked, then they're going to be kicked out of the network. Okay, sounds good. And here's an example. So for example, all of the other networks, other nodes in the network, say that Peter has 1 Bitcoin, and then you hacked your blockchain to say that you have 2 Bitcoin. Then you're going to be kicked out because all of the other ones say that you only have 1 Bitcoin. It's called the consensus mechanism, and it requires that you have at least 51% of the blockchain nodes to agree with you. Okay? Okay, sounds good. Now, going on to fungible tokens. So fungible tokens are the usual suspects whenever you talk about blockchain. So these are the Bitcoins, the Dogecoins, the Ethereum, and what a blockchain would look like, or what a ledger would look like with Bitcoins is that, as I mentioned a while ago, Bruce transfers 1 Bitcoin to Superman, Diana transfers 0.56 Bitcoin to the Hulk, and basically that's it. But there are things that are called non-fungible. So what do we mean by non-fungible? Well, we can use the term replaceable instead of fungible. So if you say that a token is replaceable, then it's not really rare, or it's not, basically you don't have any sentimental attachment to whatever token that you have. Like, let's say for example, a 5 peso coin. If I have a 5 peso coin, you have a 5 peso coin, we swap 5 peso coins, it's really not going to be, it's not going to matter that much, because at the end of the day I'll still have 5 pesos, you'll still have 5 pesos. And that's the same with Bitcoins. I give you 0.56 Bitcoin, you give me 0.56 Bitcoin, and we still have 0.56 Bitcoins at the end of the day. Now, what are non-fungible tokens? So non-fungible tokens are the ones that are unique. Each token has a unique trait. Well, think of it like you have a 5 peso coin with an image of a lion that has zebra stripes, and you've kept it for around, let's say, 5 years now. And some other person has a 5 peso coin that contains a lion, an image of a lion that looks like Robin Hood. So this person tells you that, hey, we should swap coins. I'll give you my Robin Hood one, and you'll give me your zebra one. Would you agree? I mean, if the coin has been with you for 5 years now, you're going to be forming a sentimental attachment to it. So that's the reason why non-fungible tokens are more valuable than fungible tokens. It's because each one's unique. And the same goes with, so the one I mentioned a while ago was Lazy Lions. There are also other forms of NFTs like on-chain monkeys, which I'm a developer of, and also Axies. So with Axies, there are different kinds of Axies. There are pink ones, there are blue ones, there are ones that have some weird eyes, there are ones that have a cute tail, a cute fin, some weird horns, and each and every Axie, each and every on-chain monkey, and every lazy lion is unique. Nothing is ever the same with non-fungible tokens. Okay, so much like fungible tokens, it's also in a distributed immutable giant ledger, but instead of it being Clark transfers 0.56 Bitcoin to Bruce, it's going to be whole numbers. So Peter transfers 1 on-chain monkey to Aunt May. What else? The Hulk transfers 25 lazy lions to, let's say, the Hulk. Like the Hulk transfers something to Black Hawk or something. Okay, so that's what non-fungible tokens are. So again, why are they rare? Why do they increase in value over time? Because they're rare. Nothing is ever the same with non-fungible tokens, and also you can have the opportunity to belong in a community that's growing. So since everything is on the blockchain, as long as you have your private key and you can prove that you're the owner of an NFT, you can belong to a Discord server. You can belong in a group chat, and you can chat to other people who have a copy of the non-fungible tokens. And of course, with the case of Axie, you can use it for play to earn. So there's this news. There's a lot of people are going into the non-fungible token industry. So let's say with Stephen Curry. So he bought this PNG. It's a bored ape that's worth 180,000 US dollars, and that's worth 6 million pesos when converted to Philippine peso. So why do people buy NFTs? Well, because they're crazy. Well, because as I've mentioned, they're rare. You can belong in a community that's growing, and you can use it to play as play to earn. Well, some of them here in Board 8 Yacht Club, yeah, you can just belong to a community. But I think it's in their roadmap to create some kind of play to earn. Okay, so with that said, I'm going to be introducing one NFT game that my team and I have been developing for the past 3 months, and it's called Tietra. So again, just like Axies, they're a unique digital blockchain asset that non no no two Tietras are ever the same. They're like snowflakes. Okay, jumping on to Tietra. Awesome. So who wants a free booster pack? So before we get on to the giveaways, I'm going to be teaching you how to play Tietra. So if you've ever played Final Fantasy 8 or 9's card games, Triple Triad and Tetramaster, it's much like that but with improved gameplay. So let's get on to Tietra.io. Share my screen now. Share screen, Chrome tab. Where is it? Here we go. I think there's the right tab. All right, awesome. Okay, so as I've mentioned before, all of the Tietra cards are unique. And besides their looks, they also have the agility arrows. So agility arrows are the arrows that determines which directions a card can attack and defend into. So for example, in the case of this rabbit, it can attack from the top left, from the top right, from the left, from the bottom left, from the bottom, and from the bottom right. It's defenseless against the right part, the right side. Okay. So besides that, we also have the attack type. So it can either be a sword or a wand. So I'll discuss that in a bit. So this one has a sword, this one has a wand, etc. We also have the attack power. So these are hexadecimal. It can range from 0 to F, F being number 15. So the reason why it's hexadecimal is so that it fits into the card. So for example, here we have an attack power of 8. Here we have an attack power of C. So C is equivalent to 12. So it's A, B, C, D, E, F. We also have the melee defense and magic defense. So the case of melee defense, if a card attacks you with a sword, then you're going to be defending with, or melee defense. If a card attacks you with a wand, then you're going to be defending with a magic shield. All right. So I think that's pretty much straightforward. We also have the weaknesses. So with the case of, let's say, here, an eagle, we have a frozen W eagle. So that means it's weak against fire. So if you have a card that's fire, chances are you're going to win against this eagle. Another example is, let's say here, a thunder monkey. So thunder, S, means that it's strong against aquatic animals. So it doesn't really necessarily require that an animal is in the real life a fish or living in the ocean. Like for example, here we have an aquatic ice rabbit. I know it doesn't really make sense for a rabbit to belong in the sea, but it's aquatic, you know. So the thunder monkey is strong against aquatic rabbit, and it's also has the strength of ice, so it's strong against burning animals. Okay, so well, that's basically the mechanics of the game. We also have the species, and as I've mentioned, those are only for aesthetic purposes only. So okay, let's try it out. Let's try fighting Tietra Jave. So Tietra Jave has these set of cards. When I start the battle, the cards are going to be shuffled, and the first 5 cards are going to be chosen for the game. So okay, let's start the duel. Loading. What happened? Am I still connected to the internet? Right up. Okay, start duel. Okay. Okay, so opponent goes first. He plays a pig that has an attack of 5, defense of melee defense of D, and magic defense of 9. Let's see if we can counter that. So I have here a horse that has an attack power, magic attack power of A, which means it has an attack power of 10. So if I try to place that here, in somewhere here or somewhere here actually, I'll be able to attack this pig. So okay, let's try it out. Okay, so 10 versus 9, I win. And I get that card. The card gets flipped, but the opponent on his next turn also managed to flip the card. Okay, so let's try fighting this one. What can we fight it with? Okay, let's try this water monkey. So I'm going to be attacking this eagle from here. Okay, and I'll manage to flip this over, and I'll also manage to flip this over because of the combos. So if I manage to flip an enemy over via a battle, I'll also manage to flip over anything that the card is pointing to. Okay, so this card is kind of weak. It has a defense of 3 and a magic defense of 1. So let's try attacking with this one. Okay, boom. So I win, I get the card. I also manage to get the other card. Okay, so he gets this card, and this card combos the other cards that it points into. Are we still going to win this? Let's try. Okay, let's try this one. So since this is defenses from here, and this is defenses from here, and I have right and down arrows, I can place that there, and then I'm going to automatically get those without any fights. Okay, so looks like I'm going to win. So just place this here. Hopefully I get this eagle, and there we go. I'm the winner. The score is 8-2. Awesome. So anyone who wants to try it out, I'm going to chat a link. Where was it? Okay, never mind. I'll just copy from here. Where is it? Darn it. Copy the link to our Discord and Facebook pages. So you can either join our Discord or our Facebook group. And all you need to do is chat Tietra. So if you join the Facebook group or the Discord channel, there's a SOFTCON, what do you call it? SOFTCON channel there, and you can chat Tietra so that you can get chosen as one of the lucky winners. And also we have the Facebook group. All you need to do with the Facebook group is chat Tietra in the SOFTCON thread. Okay, so anyone from Discord? Okay, no one yet from Discord. Let's see. Take a look at Facebook. Okay, so Alvin Lau. Congratulations, Alvin Lau. So in order for me to get you into the stage, you need to raise your hand. So from the right side, there's a raised hands section. All you need to do is raise your hand, and I'm going to bring you up to the stage. Alvin? Okay, so I'm going to count to 5. If Alvin still hasn't raised his hands, I'm going to choose another one. Okay, so Alvin, I think there's a raise hand tab wherein you can raise your hand, and then we're going to be bringing you onto stage. Besides the reactions. So I think it's in the bottom part. Okay, welcome Alvin Lau. I think Miguel, can you help me out? Let's bring Alvin Lau into the stage.
Okay, sir. Give me a second.
All right. Okay, Alvin, are you there? Oh, you can use mobile or the desktop to. I think you can share your screen with mobile as well. Is Alvin there? Waiting for a host to accept. Miguel?
Give me a minute, sir. I'm currently coordinating with the events coordinating team.
All right.
Sir,
okay.
Give us a second.
Sure thing. While Miguel is setting it up, I'm going to be choosing another lucky winner. So over at Discord, I think there's a SOFTCON channel there, and you can chat Tietra in order to be qualified. So I think Kay is chatting. There's also BR Lumabi. So Kay, whoever you are, I think you can raise your hand so that we can bring you up into the stage later. Okay, so who else? Who else? Um, okay. Um, while waiting, I think I can play another round. So let me just restart the game.
Yes, sir. Thank you for that, sir. We're
Alright.
still coordinating with this, sir.
Sure thing. Okay.
Thank you, Sir Clark.
All right, no worries, Miguel. Okay, so for example, here we have a burning tiger. Um, well, I can try to attack this one with this since it has a magic attack of A, which means it's 10. So attacking it, boom, I get to flip it over. And then I lose to this one, and he manages to flip this one over as well. What could I do? Let's try attacking this one again with this. Okay, so I win. I get to flip it over, and I also get to flip this over. Okay. He wins. Boom. Oops. Looks like I'm going to lose this one. Try to attack this with the pig. Try attacking it with the pig. Boom. So I got it over. And I managed to flip these over as well. Oops. this player is good. Oh my god. Let's try this one. Hopefully I get it. Oops. So if you attack with 9 and the enemy has also a defense of 9, then it's going to be a 50-50 chance. So it's going to be flipping a coin, and if you manage to win that 50-50 chance, then you're going to flip the card over.
Hello, Sir Clark. Sir Karen is already here with
Alright.
us. The call.
All right. Hey, Karen.
Yeah, hey.
Okay, so are you using desktop or mobile?
Currently using desktop.
All right, so just go to Tietra.io. I'll chat it over in the chat and share your screen. Oh, what happened? Karen, are you able to share your screen? I think my internet's kind of intermittent. Okay.
Sir Clark, I think Karen is saying that her internet's kind of slow.
I see. Can you try it with Lynn first?
Sir Alvin, are you still in the room?
Yeah, he's raising his hands. Okay. Hi, Alvin. Hello, Alvin.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. So, are you using desktop or mobile?
I'm using desktop.
All right. So just share your screen, and I'll go to Tietra.io. Tietra.io. So, while Alvin is okay, okay, never mind. Okay, Alvin, do you get the game?
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Kinda.
No worries. I'll be helping you out. So let's just go to try it out on the upper right. Choose an opponent. So we have On-Chain Clarky, Tetra Jack, Tetra Jave, and Hearts of Wendy. Okay, if you're ready, start the duel. The opponent goes first. He plays a tiger with a defense of 8 and 7. So what will you do? Okay, maybe you can choose the pig. The pig will be able to defeat the tiger. Click on it first and click on it. Yep, go ahead. Okay, you'll be able to flip it over. And okay. Hmm. Okay, it's 50-50, and the card still manages to flip you over. Maybe try the dragon and place it to the left of the tiger. Okay, you win. You get to flip the other cards as well. Boom, boom, and boom. Ah. So is a really strong opponent. What can we do? What can we do? Is Jave in the chat box? So Jave, you're beating the you're beating Alvin. Yeah, so maybe you can try the horse. Okay, you'll be able to flip that over because it's defenseless from the bottom. And yeah, I think you'll be able to win that over, and you'll be able to flip those over, and also that one. So congratulations, Alvin! You win. It's really a difficult game. Well, you can easily flip the table over. So, Alvin, do you know how to install? Do you already have a MetaMask on your Google Chrome?
A what? Sorry.
MetaMask.
No.
If not, yeah, let's meet later at the blockchain table, and I'm going to be teaching you how to integrate MetaMask into your Google Chrome extensions.
Oh.
All right. So, congratulations again, Alvin.
Thank you.
Okay. So, Miguel, I'd like to ask for your help again with. Oh, I think Karen's already in here.
Yes,
So,
Miss Karen is already in the call. We're just waiting for her. Miss Karen, are you there?
Unfortunately, okay. Hi, Karen. Okay, so all we need to do is click the try it out button from the upper right and choose an opponent. Okay, Arts of Wendy. The images are still loading. That's fine, actually. You can start the duel while the images are loading. Let's start the duel. You go first. So place a card anywhere on the tiles. I'll click on it first and then click where you need to place it. Unfortunately, there's no dragging functionality yet, so you need to click on it. We'll be implementing that this week, actually. Okay, so the card manages to flip you over. What can we attack with? Ooh, we attacked from a defenseless position. So you'll be able to get it regardless of the defense magic power. So this is going to be a 50-50. So since your arrows are pointing to 3 different cards, you need to choose one. So I think the best to choose is the mouse, I think. Oh, well, it's a 50-50. Arts of Wendy is a pro gamer. Comboing to 2 enemies, awesome. Okay. Okay, choose an enemy. I think you can choose the rabbit one. You have a better chance of winning. Okay, awesome. And then you get to also combo that one, but you lose this one. So that's unfortunate, but it's fine. It's fine, Karen. You still get a booster pack. So later, let's go onto the blockchain table where I'll be teaching you how to install MetaMask and minting your cards. Awesome. One last player. We have June. So June Estardo Taladua, Tietra. Is June here?
Sir June, please raise your hand so that we can invite you in. Sir June, are you Ignacio Taladua? Is he that person?
Yeah. I think so. June is short for junior, I think.
Give me a second. Let me coordinate with this.
Okay, so while June is setting up, how are you guys enjoying the game? So is it good? Will it win against Axie in terms of popularity?
Clark, Sir June is already in the call.
Hello, June.
Yes,
So
yes, sir.
are you using desktop or
Desktop?
All right, so you can just share your screen and go to Tietra.io. Go June daw, sabi ni Angeli Alasyan.
Okay.
If we still have time a bit later, we'll have another round um, of giveaways. So don't worry for those who didn't get a chance of winning. Um, you can try a bit later to attempt to get a giveaway. All right, June. Okay, so defense of 8 and magic defense of 8. Okay, so actually, tala ko dyan.
Ayaw nga.
Maybe you can try the rabbit.
Oh no. Yeah.
Okay, so you beat that. We also combo to the goat.
No. Wala ulit
Don't worry. Don't worry, you can still flip this over.
Let's try.
Okay. So, hampasan NFT games. Anong hampasan NFT game? So, yeah. Yeah, I think you'll be able to flip this over, and that other one will also be flipped over. But you still lose. But at least you scored 4 out of 10. So congratulations, June, Ignacio. Yeah,
Thank you.
chat me later, and then I'll be giving you a booster pack. Awesome. So I think a lot of people are excited for the Django code live coding session. So that's what we'll be doing right now. So thank you, June. I think Miguel. I think uh, June can be brought back to the audience.
Okay, sir. We'll notify you.
All right. Thank you, Miguel. So okay, let me just share my screen. Share my screen, the entire screen, and then we'll be doing some coding. Okay. So here we have our models. We have the Tietra model, wherein we will be creating an integer attack, melee defense, and magic defense integers. We'll also have an attack type, that's varchar. And we also have some foreign keys, the owner, the animal, the headgear, the eyewear, the neck accessory, and the side accessory. And we'll also be having the agility arrow. So it's going to be top left, top right, left, right, bottom, and bottom right. So it's going to be many to many. All right, so let's code this up in Django. So first things first, we're going to be having the class Tietra, which is going to be a model. It's going to be having the attack, melee defense, and magic defense. So let's type that out. Models that positive integer field, and the melee defense, and also the magic defense. So first things first, I think we need to do a migrate first, actually. So that's the first thing we need to do. Migrate. Oh, okay. Before I move forward, so Django is a web framework for perfectionists with deadlines, and that means that it's perfect for demonstrating Web 3.0 at SOFTCON. So we'll be rebuilding Tietra. These are the parts of a Tietra card. You have the animal, the headgear, the eyewear, the neck accessory, and the side accessory. And besides that, we also have the agility arrows, attack type, attack power, melee defense, magic defense, the weakness, and the strengths. And we'll be building this from our database, from this database diagram. But in order for us to save some time, we'll be skipping some steps like the project initialization. So that part is pretty much in the internet everywhere. We'll be doing the models though, and the migrations and also the admin interface, but we'll be skipping over the data seeding and the API creation of the metadata. So let me just go back to coding. And okay, we now have the attack, melee defense, and magic defense. We've also done our migrations, and we're going to create a super user. So this just basically means that we're going to create a username and a password. And once that's done, we can now log into our website. So if we go to /admin, oops, I think we need to run this one first. So try restarting it. Okay, it's up now. If I go to /admin and log in with my credentials, we have here the users and groups for the admin interface. But what we want is we should have the Tietra cards, the headgears, the site accessories, and etc. So in order for us to have this Tietra model into our admin interface, we also need to have here in admin.py, we need to register it. So admin.register the Tietra model. We have a class Tietra admin.modeladmin. And we have the fields that are the attack, the melee defense, and the magic defense. Okay, so I think that should work. If we go to our page, there's going to be a Tietra model here. But if we click on it, it's going to say no such table. So this is where the migrations come in. We need to run manage.py make migrations and manage.py migrate. So once that's done, it's going to say that we're creating the model Tietra, and it's also going to run the migration. And once that's done, we now have a card Tietra model in our database. And if we refresh, it's now all going to work. Let's try adding a Tietra. So it says attack, melee defense, and magic defense. An attack of 8, melee defense of 9, magic defense of 10, let's say. And if we click on save, then it's going to be automatically saved here in our table. But the problem is we have Tietra object here and not the actual Tietra model. So what we can do is we can have here display fields or list display, I think. I forgot I think it's list display. So let's try ID, attack, melee defense, and magic defense. Save it. And boom, we have the ID, the attack, the melee defense, and the magic defense for the Tietra model. Okay. So what happens next? I think we can integrate the attack type now. So we have here attack, melee defense, magic defense. And we also have the attack type, which is going to be two choices. It's going to be either a sword or a wand. So let's try doing that. We have here a class attack type, which is a models.choices. It's going to be either a sword or a wand. Of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 characters, so max length of 5. Awesome. So if we try going into here, admin page, it's going to tell us that no such column, card Tietra, attack type. So we need to do the migrations part. So again, oops, sorry, figure that out. Second option, again, sorry. You're trying to add a non-nullable field attack type. So what's the default value? Well, we have the default value of sword. So let's just put that in. And automatically, what's going to be put here as an attack type, if I put it in the admin, is the sword one. So the reason why that showed up is because we already have an entry in our database, but it doesn't have an attack type, so we defaulted it to sword. Okay, so we can change this up. If we want a wand instead, just save it, and it's going to be changed into wand.
Sir Clark, sorry to cut you off. I think your screen share has been paused. Can you screen share your screen again, sir?
All right.
Thank you, Sir Clark.
Share screen. Where did I get cut off? So
I think it's during your coding for the attack.
All right. So basically, what we did is we have an attack type, a sword, and a wand, and we integrated it in the Tietra model as attack type choices is equal to attack type choices with a max length of 5. The reason why it's 5 is because sword is 5 characters long, 5 letters long. Okay, so if we refresh this page, we'll be able to choose the attack type. So it's either going to be sword or a wand. Okay, so we have here in a success message that says Tietra object 1 that was changed successfully. If we want to change this one to just be the Tietra ID number 1 to be displayed instead, we can do so here. So def tr. So if we put here ID colon let's say self.id, then we'll be able to change that success message if we save this again. So save it. It's going to be Tietra ID colon 1 was changed successfully. Awesome. So what this means is basically it's going to be overriding the string function of your model. Okay, so what's next? Let's do the owner. So this is going to be attached to a foreign key called a user. Let's do that. Owner is equal to models.foreign key. The model is the user. So let me import this just quickly. Imported Django contrib auth models. And then we have on delete is models.protect. So what this means, if the object user gets deleted, it's going to pop in an error saying that this user already has a Tietra card, so you can't delete it. So basically, that's what happens here in the models.protect. There are also other options like set null, which means that this owner thing is going to have a null value instead. Well, okay, let's do just that. So it's going to be it's possible for the owner to be null and also to be blank. So let me just add here. Let's see the owner and also the owner here. If we refresh this page again, it's going to be showing an error because we still haven't migrated the owner ID. So making migrations and migrating, refreshing this page, and voila. We now have the owner, which is null right now, but we can change it over to me as being the owner. Okay, so now the owner is Spark. Let's try adding one more. So 6, 7, 8. The attack type is 1 instead, and the owner is still me. Okay, so now we have ID 2, attack 6, 7, blah, blah, blah. All right. So if we want to filter the field, or rather sort it by attack, so we can just click on this row or column header rather. If we click on attack, it's going to sort ascending first and then descending afterwards. If we want to cancel the sorting, then just click on this. Awesome. So we can also filter out the attack types. So the way we can do that is we can add here filters, list filter rather, list filter, and it's going to be a tuple for the attack type. So if we refresh this page, then there's going to be a filter here from the side. So we can filter all of the swords, which is none. We can also filter in the ones. Okay, so that's how you do filtering in Django. And you can easily take a look at this if you, well, in the case of JetBrains, you can control click on model admin, and you'll be able to see all of the fields that you can override. So we have this display and all of the other things here. So it's pretty much straight forward if you know a bit of Python already. So in my case, I've been coding Python for 10 years now. And instead of reading the documentation, I read directly from the source code of Django. So that's cool. If you can, I think you can classify yourself as a senior developer if you can read the code of a web framework already. Awesome. So what else can we do? We can have the headgears, a side accessory, eyewear. Okay. So let's have here a class headgear models.model. There's going to have a image field. So there's going to be image field. It's going to upload to media/headgear. It's going to be having a rarity. So this identifies how rare a headgear is. So for example, the crowns, those are going to be rare because only some Tietras can be king. So models.positive integer field. And we're going to be integrating that here. So headgear is equal to models.currency. Headgear models dot, well, I don't want this. Okay, I can just set it to null. Null true and blank true. Oops, my ID is loading. True, blank equals true. Headgear. So take a look at the green underlines, green squiggly lines rather. If there's one, then you probably have a typo. Again, if I refresh this page, it's going to be showing an error because I haven't migrated yet. So run the migrations, boom. And if I refresh it again, it's going to be, well, there's no headgear yet because I still haven't edited our admin.py to integrate the headgear. So let's put a headgear in, paste this here, refresh. It's going to be having the headgear, which is null for now. And we now have here the headgear. Now, if you could see here in owner, there's a plus button, an edit button here, but in the headgear, there's none, but they're both foreign keys. The only difference is that the user has a user admin already set, while the headgear has none. So what we're doing is we're going to be adding the headgear admin here. So headgear admin, model.admin. Then we're going to be setting the fields to the image and also the rarity. With those, put in here the list display. And don't forget to re-import the headgear. So once that's done, I think should have no problem. What's the problem? Console. Okay, it's already loaded. There we go. Just needed some time to load up. So we now have here the headgears. And we can also click on the plus button to add the headgear. So plus button, we're going to be uploading a headgear. I'm just going to choose one from one of my projects. Where is it? Tietra metadata. Here we go, layers. And then we have the top accessory. Let's just choose a Ronin hat. So this Ronin hat is a very cool hat. And it has a rarity of 10. If I save that, oh, it's going to be showing headgear object. Let's fix that in a bit. So if I save that, we have here headgear object. So in order for us to override again the string function of that, all we need to do is put here a string function and return self.image.file.name. Okay, so what happens there is if we refresh the page, It's going to be loading up a bit, and we'll be able to see the headgear here. If we go over to the headgears, we can also see it here. If I click on that, then it's going to be showing me the uploaded image. So it's a Ronin hat or Sakat hat if you're familiar with Ragnarok. And we can also upload lots of other headgears. So let's try Blue Sorcerer hat that has a rarity of 5 since it's much cooler than the Ronin hat. So if I do that, then we have a Sorcerer hat. It's uploaded here. And we can set it to the Tietra. So for example, this one, ID1, has a headgear of the Blue Sorcerer hat. Awesome. All right. So let's just repeat this with all of the other accessories. We have the, what do you call it? There's the top, and then there's the eyewear. Besides that, we also have the neck accessory. And lastly, we also have the side accessory. Place this on the side, the neck, eyewear. And then if we change this to eyewear, a foreign key to eyewear, side accessory, side accessory, and oops, what happened? Neck accessory to neck accessory. Should work, but again, I need to migrate. So that's the one thing that you need to always do, to migrate. So create the model eyewear, neck accessories, the field eyewear to Tietra, neck accessory, side accessory. Awesome. So if I refresh this page, there should be new fields or not. I just need to define it here in admin.py. So headgear, eyewear, side accessory, and neck accessory. So copy this one over here. And if I refresh this page, it'll load a bit. And we're going to be having the eyewear, the side accessory, and the neck accessory. Awesome. So basically, that's the same with the headgear, okay? So if we create the admin.py for it, we'll be able to add in here a edit button, a plus button, and also an X button here on the side. But let's move on to arrows, agility arrows. So what this is it's many to many. So let's have a class here called agility arrow. It's going to be a models.model, and it's going to have a name, models.carfield, a max length of, what's the longest one? I think it's upper right. So UPPER space RIGHT. So upper right is 16 characters long, or 11. I lost count. So let's try 11 first, or 12, just for good measure. And we're going to be implementing def and this dunder str dunder, which just returns self.name. And of course, we'll be implementing it here. So agility arrows is equal to models.many-to-many field agility arrow. So the reason why it's many-to-many is because it has many arrows connected to it. Try it out, make migrations, implement it here, agility arrows, boom, and then boom. Save that, refresh this page, and there should be, oops, what happened? Okay, what does it say? This display 10 must not be many-to-many field. oops, I made a mistake. I should not be putting a many-to-many field to this display. So if I refresh that and refresh this page, there's going to be an agility arrows here, but it doesn't have the plus edit buttons. So we'll just need to implement that quick. We have here admin that register the agility arrows. Agility arrow, yeah, has the name. Actually, it's just the name, I think. So, import this agility arrow from the model set by, save it up. If I refresh this page, there's going to be a plus button existing now. And we can also head over to the agility arrows, click on the add button, and we can type in all of the arrows that we have. So there's top left, save and add another. There's a top one, top right, left, right, bottom left, bottom, and lastly, bottom right. With that all in place, we now have 8 agility arrows available, and we'll be able to set it in Tietra as the agility arrows. So here it says, hold down Control Command on Mac to select more than one. So we have the top left, left, right, for example, bottom arrows. But what if we want to revamp this UI? What if we want to make it more beautiful compared to what we have right now? So it's actually easy. Django already has a built-in function for that. So all we need to do is add a filter horizontal, and then say, oh, is it here? Oh, it's actually supposed to be put here in Tietra admin. So filter horizontal, agility arrows, a comma here. And if I refresh this page, it should now show agility arrows in this fashion. So I can now put all of the chosen agility arrows to the right and the ones that are not to the left. Okay, so once that's done, you'll be able to take a look at your Tietras and click on one, and you'll be able to see which agility arrows it has. Awesome. So with that, I think we're already done with our model. Going back to my slides. So data seeding is the act of putting in some data to fill in your NFT. I'll not be doing that since it's going to take me hours to do. And I'll also not be doing the API creation, but here's going to be the final product. So here we have the metadata of the very first card. So it has an accessory of yellow tie, animal tiger, eye accessory, red skull patch, and it also has the agility arrows over here. So 0 for non-existing arrows, 1 for the existing ones, and 0 again for the non-existing ones. Oh, there's also the strength and weakness. Well, it's actually just similar to attack type. So we need to define the strength choices and the weakness choices and integrate that into the Tietra model. So we have the physical defense, magic defense, and I think it looks good now. So besides the metadata, we can also have the images. So you will be able to see the tiger that has the police cap hat, but we won't be able to see the arrows and also the attack because that's going to be in a different card or the placeholder, the container of this image. We can also view images 100. So this is ID number 100. We can take a look at the metadata. So it's an eagle, as said here. There's a pink floater as the neck accessory and such. And that's the way how you code NFTs with Django. So what's next? What do we do? Well, we're going to have another giveaway. So giveaway time again. So I think for right now, we can just have a one lucky winner who joins Discord. So over at Discord, there's a SOFTCON channel, and whoever gets to chat SOFTCON or Tara Tietra over at that channel, I'll be bringing you up the stage, and you can play Tietra. Okay, Jay's RX is typing. Ooh. What happened? Am I disconnected?
You're fine, sir. On my end, we can still see you.
Okay. Thanks, Miguel. Okay, so Jay's RX. What's your real name? If you could just raise your hand and we'll be able to see who you really are. Okay, Albert Dominic Chrysostomo.
We'll add him in, sir. Give us a second.
All right. Full screen start cursor. Hey, Albert. Hello.
Sir Clark is already here.
Hello?
Hey, Albert.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Thank you.
Awesome. So could you share your screen and go to Tietra.io? Oh, by the way, are you using desktop?
Oh yeah, I'm using my laptop now.
Alright.
Tietra.io. I'll be connecting my MetaMask for now.
Oh,
I should connect. Sorry?
Yeah, there's no need to connect your MetaMask.
There's no need. Thank you.
Okay,
Okay.
I think you can share your screen.
I'll wait for it. My desktop is cluttery for now. Sorry for the inconvenience. Wait, share my screen. Present to.
Awesome. So you can try it out from the top right. Choose an opponent and start the duel.
There's no dragging for now, right?
Yeah, no drag and drop there. Wow.
Does this have a timer per turn? Sorry.
No, it's not limit. It doesn't have a timer yet.
Okay.
I think in the future we should have a timer.
Thank you. I try to think quick.
No pressure. Awesome.
That's so lucky.
Boom. I think I can try putting it on third column there, and you'll be able to get these 2 for free. Boom, boom. And you win. Congratulations.
Oh,
Congratulations, Arbor.
thank
You
you.
win 1 booster pack.
Thank you. Should I send you my address?
Later.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can chat over in Discord.
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you.
All
This is
right.
fun. Thank you.
Oh, by the way, Albert, what do you mean by hampasan?
It's a guess. It's a rough guess, but I think it's the play turn games that are actually just you just simply click to um
Click to
to
earn.
earn. Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to name drop here, but yeah.
Yeah, I think I get what you're referring to.
Mm-mm.
All right. So thank you, Albert, for sharing your time with us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Um. So, well, let's go back to my slides. Share screen. Oops, not share screen, but share PDF file. Downloads. Let me go back to my slides again. Fungible tokens, non-fungible tokens, Tietra giveaways. We had the Django a while ago. And we had Tietra giveaway. Okay, so next topic will be smart contract coding. So in this section, we'll be coding coding from the Solidity programming language, and we'll be using the Remix IDE. So Solidity is a programming language for writing smart contracts on various blockchain platforms, but the most notable are Ethereum and Binance Smart Chain. And then Remix is an online web IDE, so you don't need to download it, that allows the developing of and deploying and administering of Solidity smart contracts. So this is actually the technology that we use to develop Tietra alongside Django, and well, Flask. We also use Flask to develop it, and also a bit of JavaScript. All right, so let me share my screen again, wherein I'll be showing you how to code Solidity. So first things first, we need to generate a Solidity smart contract. We're not going to be coding it from scratch. We're just going to be using a generator. So we have here ERC20, which is the fungible tokens, but we have the ERC721, which is the non-fungible tokens. So if I choose here, the name is Tietra, symbol is TET. It's mintable, has auto increment IDs, it's enumerable, and it's ownable. License is MIT. Base URI is https files.tietra.io/metadata. And I think that should work. If I copy this over into our Remix IDE, let me just share the Remix IDE for you guys to see. Remix. So this is what it looks like. If we go to contracts, we'll be creating a Tietra _3, that's all. Happened. Oh, my IDE is hanging. Let me just refresh my page again. So I saw in the comment section where you could learn how to code in blockchain. So here Remix is a very good IDE. It has a bunch of resources that you can view, and yeah, it is a very good IDE. You can learn a lot of things from Remix IDE. So let me just try to open Tietra 2 for now, then copy over the source code. Okay, so now we have Tietra. We have the base URL of this. We can take a look at the metadata from this URL. We also have safe mint. But I think the one that's lacking here is the ability for users to mint for it themselves. So we can mint, if I remember correctly, it's mint, where is it? Here we go. So we're going to be requiring that the token ID current is less than the Tietra free count. So we need to also define that here. Tietra free count. So what this does is it's going to be allowing us to mint only up to a 5,000 amount collectively, all of us. So after that, we can copy these over. So we have the booster pack quantity. Right now, a booster pack contains five cards. Oh, what happened? Okay. I think my file got deleted, so I'm just going to be explaining everything from the original contract. So this is actually the smart contract that you'll be seeing from the website, from Tietra.io. So basically what we have is a flip mint state. So right now, mint is active is set to false. If I call this command later, it'll be able to start minting. And you can mint up to an amount of 5,000, and each booster pack is 5 cards. Contains 5 cards. So it's going to be calling the safe mint function. It's going to be transferring it to message.sender, which is the one who called the function from Web3. It's going to be using the current counter, and afterwards it's going to increment that counter. So it's going to be looping from 1 to 5 if you're the very first minter, and all the way up to 5,000 for the last one. Then after the first 5,000, we will have the actual minting, which costs where is it? Here, which costs the mint price. So the mint price is 0.1 BNB. So since Solidity is based off of Ethereum, they hard-coded the Ethereum keyword, but actually this refers to 0.1 BNB, which costs around 2,500 right now. So you're very lucky to mint at an early stage. You'll be able to get one for free. You only need to pay for gas fees. But after the first 5,000, you will need to mint it with the price of 0.1 BNB. Okay, so basically these two are identical. The only difference is it's payable here. So public, payable, non-reentrant. So it's a public function, anyone can call it. It's payable, it needs to take in a certain amount, in this case, 0.1 BNB. And it's non-reentrant. So non-reentrant is just a way of saying that you can't recurse to yourself. There's no recursion involved. This is a very important attribute to have, because a lot of hackings are occurring with the non-reentrant, for the ones that allow reentrancy. Okay, so with that said, we have the early mint, the mint, and we have the token URI, which just returns the files.tietra.io/metadata. And I think that's it for our smart contract. Now, let's try deploying it from here, from Remix. So all we need to do is compile tietra.sol and wait for it to compile. The language is Solidity. And the compiler version is 0.8.7, but we can bump it up to 0.8.9. But well, we already compiled it with 0.8.7, so I don't. Let's just continue on. So the next step is to deploy it to an actual blockchain. So in my case, I'm going to be deploying it to smart chain testnet. But you can deploy it to Ethereum testnet as well. But be sure to deploy it to a testnet. If not, if you're going to deploy it to a mainnet, it's going to be costing actual real money. You're going to be spending real Ethereum, real BNB. So deploy it to a testnet first, so that if you have any problems, you can immediately solve it. So, okay, all we need to do is click Tietra here from the contract, contracts.tietra.sol, deploy it, and it's going to be saying here creation of Tietra pending. And you didn't see it, but the MetaMask window opened, and I'm going to be clicking on confirm. So once that's confirmed, it will try to deploy Tietra.sol. And once that's completed, the contract will now be shown here in the very bottom. Okay, so the functions that I shown you a while ago, the early mint, flip mint state, mint, they're all in here. So if you try clicking on early mint, it's going to be showing an error saying that minting Tietra is not available yet. The reason why is because mint is active, the boolean is not true yet. So what we need to do is make this boolean here, mint is active, to true. The way we could do that is via the flip mint state function that's only callable by the owner. So if you're not the owner, then you won't be able to call this function. So since I'm the owner, I'll be able to call this flip mint function and approve it from MetaMask. And after this is completed, then I'll be able to start minting. So if I click on early mint, boom. Again, there's a MetaMask window that's showing, but you can't see it. And there I got the early mint. If I click on this transaction, it will show me that it transferred from 0x blah blah blah. This is the address of the contract here. So 0x E5 E5 blah blah blah. And it transfers to my testnet address, so 0x69. This ID 201 from nothing to my address, the token ID of 201. So that repeats for 5 times because booster packs contain 5 cards. So we have 201, 202, 203, 204, and 205, and nothing more. Now, if we want to check all of the cards that I have, we can go here and balance off. So paste my address here. There's my address, the 0x69. Click on balance off. And it's going to be showing me that I have a balance of 205. So that means that I have 205 Tietras available. And if I want to obtain what ID my very first Tietra card is, I can go here over at, where is it again? Get token owner of token of owner by index. So let me just place my address here. Index of 0. So if I call this one, I'll be able to get that the card ID that I have for index 0 is 1. For the 200th one is a 201, as shown here. So if I want to obtain the token URI for my card 201, you can just call it from here, token URI, and it returns this string, fuzz.tietra.io/metadata/201. And what you'll be seeing here is the JSON file that I showed you a while ago. So let's do just that. And copy this one, paste it over here, and you'll be able to see the metadata here. And we can also go to images to view the image of that NFT. And with that out of the way, I think we're all set to actually use this for our Python script or from JavaScript. So let me just share my screen again. Share screen, entire window. Yeah. Okay. So what we have here is a source code that my team and I written. What it does is it prints the total supply of the Tietra cards. So contract.functions.totalsupply.call. But first things first, we need to, where's Phoenix? We need to copy over, oh, it got deleted. So let's just deploy it again. Tietra.sol, deploy it, compile. So this MetaMask, so you can download it for your Google Chrome. It will show you testnet. There's Ethereum mainnet, the smart chain smart mainnet as well. So okay, so we compiled it. We can deploy it from here. Deploy. And basically, once that's done, what happened? Lagged again. Okay, so unfortunately, my laptop is not keeping up with me. So basically, if we try to run this Python test.py, we need to use virtual environment first. So clear buffer and run Python test.py. We'll be able to take a look at this contract address. So this is the address of the contract with the network URL of the testnet. And we'll be able to get the total supply from this address. So it says here, print web3 is connected, return true, get the functions.name call, return Tietra NFT, symbol is TET, and total supply is 180 right now. So if my ID had been working a while ago, oh, here we go. So we can copy this over, paste it here, boom. And then we also need to copy over the ABI. So where do I see that again? Here we go. So copy the ABI and paste it over here. So ABI is a JSON string that contains the ABI of Tietra.sol. So copy it, paste it over here. And when I try to run this again, shows an error. How come? we just replace this with a multi-line string. So in Python, for you to have a multi-line, you just need to put in triple double quotes or single quotes. So put that there, run python test.py, and we'll be able to connect to Web3. Insufficient data bytes, only got 0 bytes. Wonder what's wrong. So this is working a while ago. Not sure what's wrong with it right now. Copy it over, paste it here. Make sure that the network URL is correct. So you can take a look at BSC testnet URL. Copy this over here. And hopefully we should fix everything. Test.py could not transact with call function. Is contract deployed correctly and chain synced? That's weird. Let me try it from the Remix IDE. So if you try to flip mint state, okay, it worked. Let's try minting. It says invalid buy. I think I deployed the wrong contract. Let me try it again. Tietra.sol is the right one. Files tietra.io. Compile it. Get the API from here. Change inside this one. Paste it over here. Okay. Okay, and then try deploying it. Let me remove this again. Tietra deploy. It's hanging again. Okay, I'm sorry guys, I'm not able to give you a demo since my I think my laptop is overheating right now. So let's just go back to my slides. Share my PDF. Okay. So if you need help with Solidity programming and Remix IDE, I'll be available at the blockchain table, and we can, give mentorship sessions from there. Okay, so in summary, we created a non-fungible token collection called Tietra on the Planet Smart Chain testnet using Solidity and the Django web framework. And that's actually the end of my talk. We've spent 2 hours already, and I really appreciate all of you attending. And that's it. The time for Q&A.
Thank you for that, Sir Clark, for sharing your expertise. Now we have some questions posted by our delegates, which I'm going to read out loud. So the first question is from Kim Dumano. So Sir Kim would ask, no white paper yet?
Yeah, we're working on it, but the NFT the NFTs that I see right now don't necessarily have a white paper upon their launch. They create it as they go, and we're actually still thinking about what a good reward system would be for the play to earn. But you can already mint one. Um, you'll be able to mint early, and yeah, we're still in the white paper is still in the works.
Okay.
So with regards to the token or the fungible token, with the case of other cryptos like Plants vs Undead and Axie, they have their own fungible tokens. I don't think that's a good option for us. I don't really well. Hmm. Some play to earn games work without their fungible tokens. So let's see if we still need a fungible token. But as of right now, I think what's the decision that to continue on with no fungible tokens is the best one as of now.
Okay. Thank you for that, Sir Clark. Sir Kim, I hope that answers your question. So next is from one of our winners, Sir Alvin Lau. When you say booster pack, does that mean we won't be able to choose which card we can have? If so, is trading or buying a specific card allowed?
Okay, that's actually a good question, Alvin. So at the very early stage of NFTs or fungible tokens, there's something called the minting phase, wherein you'll be able to mint it at a very low price. Well, in our case, it's free for the first 5,000 and zero point 0.1 BNB for the rest. So yeah, booster packs provide you 5 random cards, but you can choose to mint as much booster packs as you can. Actually, right now that the booster packs are free. Yeah. So coming next week is the marketplace. So you'll be able to trade there, sell the minted NFTs that you have, and yeah, of course, buy ones that you really like as well.
Okay, thank you for that, Sir Clark.
Mm-hmm.
Sir Alvin, I hope that suffices an answer. So next, we have from Sir Raymond Wee. What would be the best resource to get started in studying blockchain?
So the way we learned is from YouTube. There's someone called Nabit. I forgot the name. Something Nabit. Let me just Google it up. And he talks about how to code in blockchain. NFT. There are a lot of resources online, which you can take a look. Jave, if you could just send in a chat of the YouTube channel that you're referring to, that would be great. But also, as I've mentioned a while ago, Remix ID already has a very good documentation, and you can already start coding from there.
Okay. I hope, Sir Raymond, that answers your question. Going to the next one. From Sir Raymond Wee again. Is NFT a good investment option? That's a really, really good question for this stage. So, Sir Clark?
Yeah. So, I was going to give you this as an example a while ago. So, does anyone here in chat have a Nike shoe or a Rolex watch? So, the reason why those are expensive is because you kind of get a good sense of feeling if you buy a Nike shoe, because it has a great value, right? And I think the value of it increases over time. The reason why is because they're rare, and you can belong to a community, but you can't use it for play to earn. So, to answer your question, is NFT a good investment option? Definitely yes. The NFTs are rare. You can belong to a community. You can join our Discord channel. We can have chats anytime if you have Tietra, and also you can use it to play as play to earn. So definitely yes, NFTs are, in my opinion, the best investments to have right now in 2021.
Okay, Sir Raymond, I hope that answers your question. Okay, moving forward, Sir Tristan Paul Espera would like to ask, so far, why are most NFT games just simple rudimentary point and click games? Do you think AAA titles will enter the space soon? Huge players like Ubisoft and Bethesda, etc.
That's actually a good question. Definitely yes. Um, Actually, there are big brands right now, like Nike. I think they're big companies who are going into the NFT space because they really see the value of it. Um, Basically, that's it. Yes. I think huge players will be able to go into the space soon. Um, but most of them, yeah, as you can see, are startups like Mavis, Sky Mavis, the developer of Axie Infinity, because it's blockchain is a hard technology to learn. It has a huge learning curve, and big companies right now um, have difficulty scaling up their employees. So that's the reason why most games are the startup ones.
Okay, thank you for that, Sir Clark. Towards the next question from Sir Roderick Layug. Looks like those NFTs and blockchain games run on the Ethereum network. How will conversion to proof of stake affect them? Example: less computing power available because of less miners.
Okay. Awesome question. So, for those who didn't know, Ethereum right now is proof of work instead of proof of stake. So, proof of work is, as I mentioned, mining. Um, Computers right now are running on high speeds using their processor to compute for the nonce of each transaction. But with proof of stake, it's a much simpler model. You just need to put in some stake. You're putting in your real Ethereum in order for you to prove to everyone that you're really a legitimate um, blockchain node, and you're solving for the the transactions. So, with regards to your question, how will it affect it? Um, my honest answer is I'm not really sure, but I would figure that it wouldn't be affect it wouldn't be affecting too much negatively. It if it's actually going to be affecting it in a positive way because it will be moving fast. The transactions are going to be um, computed um, quicker. Yeah, so I think that's the effect of it if Ethereum goes into proof of stake. There's also BNB. I think BNB also has a plan to move to proof of stake, and there are existing proof of stake um, blockchains like Cardano and Solana, but um, they're still in their early phases. They're in the case of Cardano, you still can't code your very own smart contract there. So that's the reason why we chose BNB. Number one, because it's already a solid blockchain, and number two, because you can code your very own smart contracts with it.
Okay, thank you for that, Sir Clark. Sir Roderick, hope that will suffice. Moving to the next one. From Sir Gionel John Gungon, I hope I pronounce your name correctly. Will will Tetra be available soon in the Google Play Store, or is it going mobile?
Yeah, a good question, Lionel. Right now we're targeting web, so you can still play it with your web browser from your mobile phone. But we're still fixing up the UI for it to be supported by mobile. We're still figuring out if it should be landscape or portrait mode because, well, if it's landscape, then the text is too small, but you'll be able to see the whole picture. But with the case of portrait mode, you'll be able to see it um, with huge text, but you'll need to scroll up and down in order to see the whole picture, the field. So right now, there are still no plans to deploy to Google Play Store, just for web for now.
Okay. Thank you for that, Sir Clark. Any more question from the delegates? We still have a few minutes of for Q&A. Anyone else? I think no one is trying to give out the questions. So maybe I'll give out on my own. So, Sir Clark, in my experience, I've just started playing NFTs and playing play to earn and such. So the big factor that I've been seeing that some of these NFT games are having problems with their ecosystem, with their economics within their game, and then people suddenly drop their game since this suddenly the prices of the NFT suddenly drops. So any comments regarding that, or any fears or any solutions you already are thinking now to prevent that?
So that's actually a very good question, Miguel. Yes, we're thinking of always innovating for our games. So if you could see the roadmap of Tietra, we have not just the normal battles that we have. We're also going to be integrating the 2 versus 2 games. And with regards to people selling all of their NFTs, I think the reason for that is because the NFT community is not innovating enough. That's the reason why they leave. So the way to survive here in the NFT space, which I'm quite excited about, is to always innovate. Think of ways to increase the demand and increase the fun level of the NFTs. So yeah.
Okay. Now I see. Kind of want to invest now in Tetra since you're saying that. Because I'm currently seeing a lot of just what Sir Tristan said. There's a lot of just point and click games are having that, and then suddenly the developers are really not innovating much enough, and it loses the audience interest on that NFT. So thank you for that answer, Sir Clark.
All right.
So guys, any more last call for Q&A? Any more questions for Sir Clark? I think that's it, Sir Clark.
All right.
So thank you, Sir Clark, for sharing your expertise. Do you have any last thoughts regarding your session, sir?
Yeah. So, well, if there's one thing I need to say, it's that 2021 is the best time to invest in crypto and in NFT. You should do your part in improving the Philippine economy by bringing in more money to us Filipinos. Right now, NFTs and cryptos are very famous in the America. So if we could get into what America is doing, we could also get more money for the Philippine economy. And that's it. Let's go Resurgence.
Okay. Thank you for that again, Sir Clark. So before we end our session today, Sir Clark will be sharing with us a short video regarding his project. Please enjoy.
Hey mga best! Mimi here! Gusto mo bang maglaro at kumita? Paniguradong narinig mo na ang mga play-to-earn games. Papa-Axie yan, CryptoBlades o Plant vs. Undead. Guess what? May bago na namang pinoy-made NFT game na pwede nating pagkakitaan. Ano? Handa na ba kayo sa insider information na nakuha ko? Tara! Welcome to Tietra. Simple lang naman ang laro ng Tietra. Pagalingan lang sa pag-atake. Cards mo versus cards ng kalaban mo. Ang goal ng game ay mapasa iyo ang karamihan ng cards bago matapos ang Tietra battles. At ang good news, pwedeng manalo ng up to 1 BNB or 20,000 pesos per month. Want me to spill more tea, Wes? On October 25, ilo-launch ang Tietra. At sa araw na ito, pwedeng isa ka sa lucky winners ng booster pack. Meaning, may 5 free Tietra cards ka na. O ha? No need for investment. Pumunta lang sa tietra.io, i-connect ang Binance Smart Chain MetaMask wallet at pindutin lamang ang Mint button. Ang dali, di ba? Kaya bilisan nyo na at sure akong laging paunahan yung mga free minting na yan. Exciting yan! At baka makamint kayo ng dragon, lion, o tiger. Rare daw yung mga yun, mga bes. Oh, tip yan ha! Simula pa lang ito, marami pang darating na iba't ibang paraan para kumita at ito ay nakalagay sa roadmap ng website. Ano pang hinihintay nyo? Follow us on Twitter and join us in our Discord and Facebook group for more upcoming updates.
Okay, all right, let's give our speakers, Mr. Clark Plumo, a round of emojis. In case your question wasn't asked or still have other questions, you may join him at the finance table at the lounge or send him a private chat. Meanwhile, may I ask Sir Clark for a quick photo op? Ms. Rona? Give us a second for here. Okay. Medyo ice lang ng konti muna. Okay. Ms. Rona, on your signal.
Ano ako daw si Good Boy? Start.
Ms. Rona? Okay, I'll just count to 10, sir. Let's do a pose. I'll count to 10, and then we'll just maintain that for 10 seconds. Okay? So, just smile. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Thank you very much, Sir Clark, for your session for this afternoon. Okay, so now, just a reminder, here are some instructions for the workshop tomorrow for Mr. Andes Almiray. Let's just wait for the specific screen. Yes, here we go. So, install on your computer the following: Apache Maven with the latest version of 3.8.3, and a minimum of Java 8 in your computer. Also, get a GitHub or GitLab account. Okay, now don't leave yet. Head over to the expo hall and take advantage of these promos. So join promos and get a chance to win prizes from our platinum sponsors: Globe, IBM, and PLDT Enterprise when you visit their booth. We have giveaways from silver sponsors: Colab, Skybiz, and StratPoint. The PSIA will also give away huge prizes for the grand raffle on the last day, courtesy of PMFTC, including 1 pair of Sony Bluetooth earbuds, 1 Samsung tablet, and 1 HP Wi-Fi printer. The PSIA will also announce 1 winner of an iPhone 13 and 5 winners of 5 gaming accessories, courtesy of Poplar Homes Philippines. There are also other raffles, prizes up for grabs, so make sure you visit the expo hall and show up at the grand raffle at the end of the event. So delegates, once again, I'm Miguel, your host for day 1 of this breakout session. We hope to see you again tomorrow for our day 2 breakout sessions. We still have more and fun activities for you to do. So for now, goodbye and see you later.